everything's so pretty all the time. First stop, Royal Palace and Royal Apartments. I mean, this is just the beginning, but not bad so far. So, after visiting the first part of the Royal Apartments, I would say that it's pretty damn cute. Not as rococo as I would have expected, but you know, the entrance wasn't that expensive. They had really good student prices, and so far we were having a good time appreciating the Swedish Royal Palace. It's good to note, however, that it's not actually where the king and the queen are living. It's just kind of a relic, a historical monument that's just been kept in the family for the longest of times. And actually within the Royal Palace they have a lot of exhibitions, including weaving, carpentry. I mean, I know that's the exhibition right now, but they sometimes have other exhibitions, I would guess. But for winter 2020, that's what we are getting to see, and I will include a few clips of some of the best weaves. I love their colors. I just feel like picking up weaving myself. So I'll show you now a time lapse of my fast walk through Stockholm Palace, and as you can see, the colors don't translate as well, but there's a lot of light pinks, light blues. It's very, very rich. I mean, look at this chandelier. It's boss chandelier. I would have to say that it's like really pretty, and it's better conserved than a lot of the palaces you can visit in Europe. Well, that could also be because, you know, none of it was destroyed by revolution like you would have seen in France or in Russia. So I would say really good visit, definitely worth it. So live from the Royal Armoury that is so silent, where we can see all the carriages and a lot of the old weaponry for free. After leaving the Armoury, we went for a little stroll around Gamla Stan, trying to look at the pretty architecture of the old town. We really enjoyed it, but we were kind of in a hurry because we were trying to get to the metro stations. So here's a bit of a montage of all the things you can see in all the different stations, and see you afterwards. It is soaked. That is the reality, kids. If you want to take nice videos, you have to apparently bathe in the Sweden metro. It's disgusting. Like, all this dripping over there is my scarf. The pain is real. Stadion was a super busy station, and it was also our last stop on our first day in Stockholm. So we just got back from our afternoon in, well, afternoon, I should say day really, in Södermalm. No, I'm sorry if I'm not saying it right again. But yeah, it was quite interesting. We wanted to go there because it has the reputation of being like one of the best hipster neighborhoods in the world, one of the best places to live in the world, period. So we wanted to go see for ourselves. And although it does have some of the nice architecture, it's not quite the level of Gamla Stan, and it's not quite the level of some of the other parts, but I was pleasantly surprised by the bars, the restaurants, and a bunch of the other little things that we could do there. We found a few interesting tattoo shops. One of them we actually visited, and then I would say overall we still had nice views. And I mean, Södermalm is on a cliff, so you get to have a nice overall view of Stockholm from there, and you get to appreciate a lot more like how you're surrounded by the water. And as you can probably see now, a lot of it is cliff related, so you can still see parts of the cliffs at the bottom of some of the buildings, which was like an interesting mix of nature and architecture. So that's what we did for most of our second day in Stockholm, and now we're off to go eat meatballs. Live from Skansen Outdoor Museum. I have no idea what I'm going to discover in here, but all the comments on internet were awesome and said that it was really worth it. So here I am to see if it's true. So far it kind of looks like a haunted place, like proper dead. But, you know, we're walking towards the Nordic animals, and hopefully that's gonna be a little more lively. I mean, if the animals are dead, I'm quitting this place. God. So, turns out this is an actual church that was supposed to be destroyed and the Skansen Museum saved, and we were just expecting that it was like a basic reproduction, so we barged in there, as you can see on the time lapse, and we just like were thugging around, and then all of a sudden a lady comes out of the shadows just after Miriam says that we're all gonna get murdered in the church. And oh my god, she's like, no flash and no video, this is an actual active church. And we were just like, so unexpected, and we felt really bad and tried not to laugh. And then the lady had interesting things to say, like the hand-painted ceilings and us not getting murdered. It was all very cute, but all in all, it was a bit of a touristic failure. So we're visiting the animal part, as I said, and we saw very active wolves, we saw some cute moose, but actually most of the animals seem to be hibernating or sleeping. I don't know if it's only because of winter or if it's because of the time of the day we're here, but we're not seeing as many as we would like to. But you know, it's part of the deal. A lot of them are like almost in nature in this park, so obviously you could control a lot less if and when you can see them. So after leaving Skansen Outdoor Museum, we headed out for a close neighbor, the Vasa Museum. And as you can see on the little time lapse, you come into like this giant boat, perfect reconstruction. Like, it's giant, it's really impressive. So I guess that's one of the reasons why this museum is like on the top 100 things to do on Earth in Lonely Planet and a bunch of other things. So let's see if all of the museum is worth it or if it's just a big bang as you enter. After more than an hour in the Vasa Museum, I can say that it was indeed interesting, but literally everything is about that ship, like not about plenty of ships. However, the story is pretty interesting, so it tells you a lot about the old Swedish times. So if that's one of your things, I mean, I can't stop staring at it. I've interrupted myself 3 times just staring at it. So it kind of says it all. So, day 4, I think, and we are at City Hall, one of the prettiest monuments in Stockholm, and so far so good. Honestly, the architecture is incredible. The archways are just breathtaking, and we haven't even been inside yet. We're going on a tour in a few minutes, and I have to say, like, right by the water with this great architecture, like, I haven't seen such a great city hall in all the countries I've been to. So we've finished visiting City Hall and now we're back in the shopping district in Norrmalm, and we're going to hit H&M because it's from Sweden and I think it's a must because I love that place. Honestly, City Hall was a great visit. The guided tour was super interesting. The guide was super knowledgeable and honestly was just, I think, some of the prettiest architecture I've seen in the city. If you're hitting Sweden, specifically Stockholm, see the City Hall. It's way worth it. So, after 4 or 5 days in Stockholm, we're finally finishing off today, and we are finishing exactly where we started in Gamla Stan, next to the cathedral and the royal palace. Great pieces of art as always. Well done, Europe. I would say both Casey and I really liked City Hall, as I've mentioned, so if you have very little time in Stockholm, I would say aim for City Hall, aim for Gamla Stan. If you've only had one day, maybe even try to sneak a quick one in the metro stations because they're really awesome and you will have seen some of the best of Stockholm. Big love to Stockholm.